be with everybody. Thankful that we could spend this hour together. If you're joining us live, or even if you're watching this recorded, we're grateful that you've joined us. We're going to have a great hour together. Steve, before we get started, should we do some introductions?
Absolutely. So I'll introduce myself real quick. I got a few preliminaries. I want to introduce Cassidy Turley. Cassidy is from Gargle. Gargle is one of the leading internet website developers, hosters, new patient generators, and Cassidy's going to share some amazing wisdom and information with us today about how to get more new patients now, which is all about what we're going to talk about today. So looking forward to a great time together. I will give you a couple of tips. One is you're in listen only mode. So that means we can hear you. You cannot hear us. That's so you can listen uninterrupted. We're going to have a number of resources today. So you might want to have your cell phone handy, a number of QR codes with downloads and different things. So keep that handy so you can take advantage of some great things that we'll share today. So perfect. Steve, I think with that,
I'll do one other housekeeping item. We always get asked questions about CE. Our CE will be available to you in an email. So whether you are joining us live or are watching it recorded, after we finish, a link will go out for you to submit your 1 hour of CE credit. So we won't share that live. It'll go out to you with the recording and hopefully the links that we share today. It'll all be contained in like a post-webinar email. Coming short.
Thank you for that reminder, Stu.
You bet.
Okay, before we get started, let me just do a few disclosures.
Okay.
As many of you know, I am the founder of the Total Patient Service Institute and its chief creative officer. TOPS is an education coaching company that specializes in one word, and that word is the word yes. So everything we do centers around hearing yes more often from your patients. And in today's case, hearing yes more often to new patients, as well as I'm a co-founder of the Crown Council, which is a community of practices all over the country, a network committed to creating a culture of success in their practice, of which Stu is the leader. So thank you for being our host today, Stu. As well as, I'm just going to mention this because we'll talk about this a little bit briefly in the webinar today. I'm also a co-founder of the Smiles for Life Foundation, which is a cause-related marketing campaign that has raised over, what's our count, Stu?
$52 million in the last 29 years.
$52 million for children and dental-related charities. Which is it's one of our favorite things, and we'll mention that a little bit later. All right, so I have for everybody, before we get started, I have a gift.
Yes.
For everybody attending. For starters, and Cassidy may have some as well a little later on. Just saying. So grab your phone. Here's your just for attending today. We have a gift from our team at Total Patient Service before we start our education part of this today. So there's a gift from us. For attending today, you can scan this QR code for a $200 gift card from Total Patient Service, good towards any coaching or training service that Total Patient Service offers. So that'll get you started in an area, maybe even something today, but that is for starters. So you get a gift for showing up. How's that?
Right. Very good.
That's what my favorite philosopher, Woody Allen, said 80% of success is showing up. So this is your gift for showing up. I recommend you scan that, and at the end of the webinar, I may mention this again. So that's your gift for getting started. I introduced Cassidy. Cassidy is with Gargle, and Cassidy's going to share some insights based on their data, their research, working with hundreds of practices all over the country, doing internet and website marketing and everything that goes along with it. So Cassie, looking forward to your input today. So
super excited to be here.
We're going to cover 4 things in the next few minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit about philosophy. I am not going to be a philosopher, Stuart. I'm just going to talk about a little bit of business philosophy so that we're all on the same page. We're going to talk about tools. So some tools you can use that everybody can use to get more new patients now. We're going to talk about some systems you can put in place that'll increase your new patient flow. And then finally, we're going to talk about common patient questions that stand in the way of becoming a new patient. So we're going to have a little verbal skills training here today as well. All right, let's start with philosophy. This is what I call the funnel philosophy. And yes, philosophy is spelled with an F. If you spent any time with me in the past, you may know that one of my proud accomplishments was that I failed spelling in the 4th grade. Big F, failed. And my very insightful 4th grade teacher during parent-teacher conferences turned to my mother when we were reviewing my grades, and she said, "Mrs. Anderson, not to worry. I'm sure Stephen will have a most excellent executive assistant when he gets older." And so it was very insightful. So my executive assistant, her name is Madison. She is a former 1st grade school teacher and an excellent speller.
Nice.
And so, yes, I misspelled this on purpose.
I like it.
Got a little alliteration with funnel. So here's how this works. This is a philosophy, is every business is like a funnel. So the big open end of the funnel represents all the prospective patients in your target market, right? There's thousands of them, thousands of prospective patients. For them to become a patient in your practice, they have to make it through the neck of the funnel, the entry point in your practice to become an active patient, right? So every marketing process, everything that happens really is kind of based on this idea. You got big market, and then you have this entry point to get in to be a customer. So how do we facilitate that process to get more new patients now? How do we reach more prospective patients? And then how do we guide the journey through the neck of that funnel so that we make that bigger so that we get more active, more new patients now? So here's the first philosophy piece of principle that I'm going to challenge you to share with your team that really drives everything that we're going to talk about today, which is, if I were to ask you, when you walked in this morning, when you walked into the practice and asked yourself, why am I here? What's our purpose? What are we here to do? And from a funnel philosophy standpoint, could I suggest that this is a purpose of the practice? Maybe not the only purpose, but it is a purpose of the practice, which is to create happy paying patients who repeat and refer and pay more than it costs to serve them. Create happy paying patients. So whose responsibility, whose purpose is it? This is everybody's purpose in the practice, regardless of your position or job description. Everybody's purpose is to create happy paying patients in everything I do. Whether I'm answering the phone, my purpose is to schedule an appointment, create a happy paying patient. If I'm in hygiene and I'm cleaning teeth, my purpose is create a happy paying patient. If I'm scheduling, I'm making sure that they come back, create a happy paying patient. So no matter what I'm doing, if I'm even cleaning the treatment room, my purpose is to create a happy paying patient. So in the context today, more new patients now, everybody's purpose, create a happy paying patient. In order to do that, here's our goal, is to open the neck of the funnel, make it bigger, make it broader, so that more new patients come through the neck of that funnel. So I'd like to start with the big neck of the funnel, the prospective patients in your market, and what is it that causes them to make an inquiry, to be of interest in your practice, and just a few tips and a checkup. This is your periodic exam for what you're doing then to create more inquiry in your practice. So as I mentioned, Cassidy works with Gargle, and every day, all day, she and her team, they work on creating more new patients now, creating more inquiries that come into the practice. So Cassidy, what suggestions, just as a quick checkup, what suggestions do you have on what should be visible from an internet standpoint? What should be visible on the website that creates more new patient inquiries?
Absolutely. So we have a little checklist here for you guys as to what patients see before they even pick up the phone. I like to call your digital presence and your website your digital waiting room. So what patients are experiencing before they even pick up the phone or walk into your practice. So first, on the website, it's really important to have accessible information. And a lot of the times that's done in we call it the top sticky bar. So the top bar of your website should have your address, a place to book an appointment, and a phone number to call. And that top bar should stick with you wherever you're scrolling on the website. So it shouldn't disappear as you scroll down on the website. The other thing is it follows you. Yeah, it's sticky.
You go.
Yeah, and then the other important thing about the website is content, right? So you should have pages with all the different services that you're offering at the practice. Each of those pages should have a minimum of 600 words on them, along with content on the homepage about the doctor and the services that you provide. This will help you with your SEO and ranking higher for those specific services and for patients looking for new dentists in your area. The next thing is your Google Business Profile. So your Google Business Profile is extremely important, and it can be a superpower for a lot of dental practices. So the first thing is, how are you ranking in the map pack on your Google Business Profile? Are you ranking high for certain keywords? Are you ranking, or where are you at within the competitive landscape of your area? The next thing is your information up to date on your Google Business Profile? You'd be surprised at how many dental practices that we've seen where the phone number or the link to their website doesn't work on their Google Business Profile, and that's crucial for new patients. And then the last thing is consistent reviews, and Steve will talk a little bit more about reviews later on. And then the third place that many patients will see you before they pick up the phone is your Google Ads. So if you're spending money on Google Ads, first, it's important to know, are you spending the right amount for your area and for the specific cases that you're trying to attract? A lot of practices don't know if they're spending the right amount, and that's where people like myself and Gargle can step in and help you know if you're spending the right amount to be competitive in your area. And then the second thing is, what types of cases are you trying to attract? What types of keywords are you trying to attract or go after? And that should be something that you discuss with your team and that you approach with your marketing company.
Love it. Excellent. All right. Thank you for the reminders, Cassidy.
Thank you.
Here's what we know about dentistry. This is based on some of the most recent research from a nationwide study that we helped commission at University of Massachusetts at Boston. And here's what they found is that 81% of Americans prefer to choose their dental practice based on the recommendation of a friend, a family member, or someone they trust. 81%. So dentistry continues to be a word of mouth business. We want to go to somebody we know we can trust, and the best thing we can rely on is the opinion of someone we trust to do that. I'll add this little footnote here on this, which is everyone is familiar with Net Promoter Score. So Stu, how many times have you answered the question, to what degree would you be willing to refer us to a friend or family member? You get that from almost every business, right? So that's Net Promoter Score. It's been adopted by like 75% of the Fortune 1000. And the latest iteration of that, called Net Promoter 3.0, basically says that the best businesses get 80% or more of their business from repeat and referral business. So I find this really interesting that 81% of America says, I want to choose my dentist based on a recommendation. And the best minds in business say the best businesses are they 80% repeat and referral business, and 80% of their growth comes from repeat and referral business. So you got a double whammy in dentistry. So here is, and we got a lot we're going to cover here. I'm going to give you a suggestion here about finding opportunities every day for more new patients. Now they're just sitting there. They cost no additional money, but they leverage what we already know about dentistry. So I'm going to talk first about basics, and that is creating more opportunities every day for repeat and referral business. So this is what I call the 2x2 system in your mom. And that's not your mother, that is your mom. Mom in the TOPS vernacular stands for morning opportunity meeting, right? So this is different than a morning huddle. This is a morning opportunity meeting. So here's what 2x2 means. The reason we say 2x2 is it's 2 reviews and 2 referrals every day. So in your morning meeting, you're going to report on yesterday's activity for getting at least 2 referrals and 2 reviews. Now, Cassie, I think you would recommend, because there's some amazing software out there that will automatically send every patient that comes into the practice an email or a text message that asks them for a review, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is great. In addition to that, if you want to put the X factor on word of mouth and 80% repeat and referral, what we recommend is that you ask specifically face-to-face at least 2 people every day for review, 2 people for a referral, word of mouth, right? So you report on that from yesterday. And then today, you will identify 2 patients that you're going to have a conversation about referring others, and 2 patients that you're going to have a conversation about leaving a review. So Stuart, can I do this with you real quick? Will you be my patient?
Sure. I will.
All right, so let's say you're checking out and I say, Stuart, how was your visit today?
Best visit of my life.
Oh, I am so glad to hear that. What made it so great?
You know, just a very personal greeting, and I just felt the team was 100% today. Just took care of me.
And we love to hear that. So, Stuart, probably wouldn't surprise you to know, and thank you for the compliment, probably wouldn't surprise you to know that there are a lot of people who are not getting the benefit of the kind of care that you're getting just because it slipped their mind, they don't know, or they just need the reassurance. I need your help.
I'm ready.
Would you be willing to share your experience that you had today with other people who might be thinking about moving in the same direction in the form of an online review? Just basically share online what you just shared with me. Would you be willing to do that?
I'd be happy to.
So
yes.
You're going to get a text, or if you have the ability to, scan a code right there at the front desk, you can scan this, and I can show you exactly how to do it. But if you would do that, that would not only help other people, but it would also help us, because we love to have people just like you. Awesome. So there's a couple of things. In other words, there's all kinds of golden opportunities every day. Yes, technology can help you send out the emails, the text messages, but a personal one-on-one conversation, you can put an X factor and get more new patients now if you ask. So one of my favorite phrases is those 4 words that I used: I need your help. Most people cannot refuse the request for help. So I love using those 4 words. I need your help. Would you be willing to share what you just shared with me in the form of an online review so other people can benefit just like you have, right? So again, this is a discipline, right? So a discipline of identifying 2 potential patients for a review, 2 potential patients for asking for referrals, and you will put the X factor on your word of mouth business when you ask. Here is another resource that I would invite you to take advantage of. So your morning opportunity meeting is one of the most important disciplines of a top team. Done right, it will almost guarantee that you will produce more than scheduled every day. So you're welcome to scan this. This is a free resource that our team at Total Patient Service provides every practice, that we will send you each week at the beginning of the week. A action thought, a patient service oriented action thought you can use to conclude your morning opportunity meeting every day on a positive note. So that's another gift. I'm giving a lot of stuff away today. That's another gift from us, just as a part of being part of the webinar today. Okay, here's another open the neck of the funnel concept, which is word of mouth by doing good. I don't believe in giving back. That's a phrase that's crept into our vernacular in our culture over the years, and I don't believe in it. It implies that you took something. Stuart, I don't think you have ever, that has never been a happy phrase. If you're like me, your mother's, give that back to your brother.
Give it back.
So I do believe in doing good, and doing good encompasses so many things that we do in dentistry, and doing good can create a lot of positive word of mouth to open up the neck of the funnel. So I'm just going to mention this real quick. We talked a little bit about Smiles for Life, the Smiles for Life campaign at the beginning of the webinar. Smiles for Life is a nationwide campaign that dental practices participate in, and how it works is you offer to whiten patients' teeth. Really, anyone in the community can come in, especially if they qualify, but anybody can come in. You promote this in your community. They get their teeth whitened, and they make a charitable donation to the Smiles for Life Foundation. So instead of paying a fee, basically they're getting the service, they make a donation to the Smiles for Life Foundation, and we usually have a recommended donation that's a little less than what they might typically pay for whitening. They can donate more if they like. And then all of that money goes to charity, including a local charity in your own community. So it's a positive word of mouth, gives your patients an opportunity to talk about you to other people, to have them come in and get their teeth whitened for a worthy cause, get to know you and your team, and create more new patients right now through a worthy cause. So there's all kinds of resources that have been put together for this, for social media, for promotion in your office. And Stuart, we just kicked off the Smiles for Life campaign for 2026. It runs from March through the end of June. So if you and your practice would be interested in knowing more about the Smiles for Life campaign and patients now, again, this is a charitable effort. The whitening material is donated to your office from Ultradent. All the functionality is donated by our team at the Crown Council. You donate the service and the patient donates the money. So it's everybody's all in to donate something to make a difference for kids and to create more new patients right now for your practice. So feel free to scan that for more information, and we would love to have you and your practice as part of dentistry's largest cause-related marketing campaign, Doing Good.
Nice.
All right, next, open the neck of the funnel. We're going to talk about leads to scheduled appointments. So this is when you take inquiries, if you've done what you need to do from a standpoint of creating inquiries into your practice, this is one of the biggest missed opportunities in dentistry to create more new patients now. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you some statistics based on our research in dental practices all over the country, where we simply called offices nationwide, random, and asked the most common question that practices get every day, which is, how much is a cleaning? Simple price inquiry. How much is a cleaning? Okay. The most common question that practices all over the country get every day. When we talk about opening the neck of the funnel and converting more of those leads to scheduled appointments, here's where the opportunity rests. So in our most recent survey, what we found is 92% of the offices called where the caller asked how much is a cleaning never asked for the caller's name. Dentistry is a relationship business.
Wow.
There was a guy nearly 100 years ago that wrote a best-selling book. It's a bestseller to this day called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And one of the most basic common sense principles in that book is that the sweetest sound in any language is a person's name. But 92% of the time, no one bothered to ask. 76% of the time, no one thanked the caller for calling. And this isn't a thanks for calling ABC Dental. That's not what I'm talking about. Is that when it's obvious this is a potential new patient, no one thanked the person for choosing their practice and inquiring. Gratitude goes a long way. 88% of the time they gave the price immediately, and 80% they gave the price and nothing else. And when that happens, game over. When it becomes a price game and that's all you do, there will not be more new patients now. It's going to be end of conversation. They move on. 40% of the time they gave the prices of each service separately. The exam is this much, the cleaning is this much, the x-rays are this much. You go ahead and figure it out for yourself. So the person was so confused they didn't know what to do. And 8% of the time the phone was busy. 16% of the time they said they didn't know and they'd have to check.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, how much is the cleaning? I don't have a clue. I'm just a night cleaning guy. They were running a little short-handed. 12% of the time they said depended on how bad the teeth were they had to clean. It's like, how much is the cleaning? Well, how bad are they? Well, let me check. 24% of the time they said it would be more if the caller was a new patient. How much is the cleaning? Are you new? Well, it's more. Now, it wasn't stated like that. Usually it was you have to have the exam before you have the cleaning, but it was never really explained like that. It said, well, if it's your first time, it's more. 12% of the time they left the caller on hold for more than 1 minute, and 64% of the time it took more than 3 rings to answer the phone. Okay, so when you look at those numbers, and we're talking about this in the context of more new patients right now, the neck of the funnel in most practices is all clogged up. It is time to call Roto-Rooter. we got to open the neck of the funnel. This is the biggest bottleneck. We hear it from practices all the time. We need more new patients. We need more new patients. And then when we get to doing the numbers, it's like, there is a huge opportunity just with the existing inbound inquiry traffic, whether it's somebody who emails in or somebody who calls. There's all kinds of opportunities for more new patients now just by taking proper care of the people who were already inquiring. So let's talk about how to open the funnel in this area. Let's talk about some tools and a quick checkup here on how you're doing. I'm going to go from analog to digital here for just a moment. So let me give you the analog tool that kind of sets forth the foundation for this. I want to keep track of my wins. In other words, I want to know every day how many opportunities we had, and then in turn, how many scheduled appointments did we get? How many wins did we have? All right, so Stu, you're a statistics guy. You cycle, you play football. What would you say would be a winning ratio of calls to scheduled appointments? Winning ratios. Say 100 people call and are interested in the practice. What would you consider to be, man, if we scheduled this many appointments, we'd be rocking it?
85.
I'd say so. Cassidy, you agree with that? 80%? We're not going to be everybody's practice, but yeah, 80%. How do you know that? Okay, so one, we're going to track it. Okay, so again, this is the analog. I'm going to give you the basics. This is a checklist. So I want to know the calls. I want to know who the prospective new patient's name was, hopefully a callback number. Did they schedule? And if so, why? If no, why not? Okay, so that's the information I want, right? So if all else fails, write it down, right? Keep a handwritten log of every person who calls and did you schedule that appointment? Okay, that's analog. Now, Cassidy, will you show us what's possible digitally in today's world? What's possible in terms of call tracking so I know what my ratio is?
Absolutely, yeah. So at Gargle, we use call tracking numbers, and it basically tracks what Steve just showed without you having to actually write it down and write everything out. So here on this dashboard, you can see it's a little bit small, but you can see the number of calls you got, the number of appointments booked, the number of appointments requested, first-time callers versus returning callers, what was talked about on the call, so insurance or if it was a spam call. So you can see everything here, and if you go to the next slide, you can see the actual call log. Obviously, I blocked some of this out, but you can see exactly who called, what time they called at. You can tag it with, appointment booked tags, and then you can see their name, their phone number, where they called from. So if they called from your website or your Google business profile or a Google ad campaign. And then if you click on the date, you can listen back to the call. So you have a recording of the call. If you want to listen to it. Yeah, it's super helpful because obviously we're all busy every day and you might not remember every single call you took throughout the day. And so if you want to listen back and remember what happened on the call or grade yourself or grade one of your colleagues on your call, you can do that as well.
Love it. So whether you do this manually, whether you have something that tracks it for you, in today's world, we got to know, if I can use a baseball terminology, what's our batting average? How many up to bats did we have? How many opportunities did we have to schedule a new patient compared to how many appointments we actually scheduled, right? So I got to know my numbers because this is an internal competition. I want to get as many of those as I can. In most practices, there is a lot of unrealized potential here to get more new patients now if we track it and we know what we're doing. Okay, so that's the first tool. You got to track your results. Tool number 2 is to have a system for new patient intake with key questions, with things we want to find out, and a path that will almost guarantee a new patient scheduled appointment. So that's one, and then the verbal skills to go along with it. So what we recommend is to have what we call in the TOPS vernacular, a new patient relationship form that kind of guides the process. It's not a script, but it guides the process that walks you through the system of how to get more new patients to schedule. So let's talk about that system overall and its components and what increases the batting average to get more new patients now. So here's just some simple reminders. This is a quick checkup. And then I'm going to drill down on this for some specifics. So GACC, greet with a smile. We're going to ask some key questions, convert it to a scheduled appointment, and then make sure we have patient commitment. So let me just walk through these real quick, and then we're going to show you some remarkable results when the system is followed. So number 1, greet. You always greet your patients, your potential patients, like a guest. If you were having somebody over for a party at your home or your practice, you would open them with open arms. They're not an interruption, right? So grateful that they came. One thing we recommend is calculate what the cost or the investment is for new patients in your practice, meaning how much does it cost per new patient in your practice? And you can calculate how much does it cost to get a lead. So take your total marketing budget, then divide that by the number of new patients a month, and that's your acquisition cost. So if you knew that your acquisition cost was $200 every time the phone rings, that's $200 that got that phone to ring or whatever it is. So yeah, you would welcome someone in that context with a big, warm, friendly voice, smile on your face. The best people in the country that do this, that have the best results, have a mirror in front of their phone.
Wow.
As a reminder to smile when you're talking to the person on the other end of the phone. Personalized conversation. Dentistry is a relationship business. And quick reminder, suggestion, never start out the question, the conversation with either of these two questions. You ready for the never ask this to lead a conversation? You ready? Okay. Never ask, are you a new patient? So somebody calls and says, how much is it cleaning? Are you new? And never ask, do you have insurance, as a leading question. Okay, so let me give you the better context. Instead of asking, are you a new patient, Cassidy, if you were calling, I would say, well, thanks again so much for calling. My name's Steve, and you are?
Cassidy.
Cassidy, I get your name. And then I would ask, Cassidy, how long has it been since we've seen you?
I actually just moved to this area, so I haven't been here before.
Fantastic. So you're new to our practice. Thank you so much for choosing our practice. Now that's a lot better than straight out of the chute if somebody makes a price inquiry saying, well, are you new? No, I mean, so the key question is, how long has it been since we've seen you? Insurance, okay? Insurance doesn't run the show. But when that's the first question, so if Cassidy, if you ask me, how much is a cleaning? And my first question back in response is, well, do you have insurance? That's a great foundation for a relationship, is to start out with a price discussion. It would be like, Cassie, it'd be like if a guy asked you out on a date and the first thing you asked was, well, where are we going to dinner? Is it going to be expensive? Because I only like expensive restaurants. All right, so here's where we go instead. This is the next step, the ask step, which is you're going to ask research questions. The more you know about them, the more they think you know about what you're doing. So we're going to ask questions that'll help us build a relationship with that patient, right? So questions like this. So when was the last time we saw you? We talked about that. So the next logical question would be, Cassidy, how did you hear about us? So if it was from a friend or a family member, that's a different set of circumstances versus if somebody got you off an insurance list. So Cassidy, let's do a quick example. Let's say that they did an internet search and they looked at the website and then they called the office. So you be the patient and say, Cassidy, well, thanks so much for choosing our practice. How did you happen to hear about us?
Oh, I just found your website online and decided to call.
Ah, fantastic. Well, glad you like the website. May I ask you, what on our website piqued your interest?
Yeah, I saw that you did XYZ services, and that's something that I might be interested in, so I wanted to call.
Fantastic. Okay, so what just happened? What I did is, now we've shifted the conversation from price, how much is a cleaning, whatever, to, okay, she has an interest, whether it was whitening, veneers, whatever it might be. Now I know she's got an interest in something and we can build on what she wants, something she's interested in, and not just be playing the price game. So again, how did you hear about our office? But then ask some follow-up questions. Again, we're building a relationship here. This isn't a transaction. This is a relationship. Are you having, if they're having some immediate problems, I want to know that because we may expedite the conversation and get them in even faster. And here's one of my favorite questions. You ready for this, Cassidy? You be the patient, you be the prospective new patient. So if I said to you, Cassidy, we want to make sure you have a great experience in our office. for you, what is the most important thing to you about your first visit?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I feel comfortable, right? I sometimes the dentist can be not a fun place to be, so comfort is really important to me.
So comfort's important. Sounds like you may have had a bad experience in the past. Am I right?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I just had a dentist that I didn't really feel like they cared about my experience, and it wasn't comfortable for me, and I didn't really know what was going on, and so it just wasn't a great experience for me.
All right. Totally understand. So it sounds what's important to you is you want to be totally comfortable. You want to make sure that the team that serves you, that they know what's going on and that you know what's going on. Everybody's on the same page. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay. And that's our goal here. That's what we do. So you have called the right place.
Great.
Now, that took 60 seconds. But what happened? Just with that one quick question. Now, instead of Cassie just thinking about price of a cleaning or whatever, now she's now got an emotional connection with this business who's given her the reassurance that she's called the right place because I've recognized what she wants. So when you talk about more new patients now, connecting with people, this isn't a transaction. This is, we're building the foundation of a relationship here, and it starts with the very first contact. Cassie, what other concerns do you have? That might be a follow-up question. Make sure that we cover all those when you come in. So those are just a few suggestions on relationship building questions that turns this from just a transactional call into a relationship call. And what we know is relationship calls convert at a much higher rate into scheduled new patients. Are you building a relationship? And it doesn't take very long to do this. It's all about the questions that you ask. So here's the challenge. When you're converting this inquiry into a scheduled appointment, the conversation, we're going to pivot from price. How much is a cleaning? How much is a crown? How much is a veneer? How much is a lobotomy? What we're trying to do is convert this conversation from a price-focused conversation to a benefit-focused conversation. So Cassie feels there's a special benefit of going to this office. So it's not a price battle, where can I get it the cheapest, but is this the kind of place where I'll feel comfortable and I'm going to get what I want? So we're shifting from price to benefit. We're shifting the conversation from procedures to what does this patient really want, right? What is it that we can help them accomplish? So from price and procedure, from patients and procedures and price, to connecting with people and their priorities. What matters to them, and then how can we deliver that? That's really where this shift comes of making sure you have a meaningful connection. Last piece is to make sure you schedule the appointment. So here's a couple of suggestions. Number one, offer two choices. Here's what I would say. So Cassidy, in your schedule, which day of the week do you have the most control over, Monday through Thursday? Which is the most predictable day for you?
Probably Mondays.
Cool. All right. Morning or afternoon?
Morning is usually best for me.
So would 8 a.m. or 10:30 be better?
Let's do 8 a.m.
8 a.m. So in other words, choice. I always offer two choices of what we have available. Here's what I'm not going to say. Well, Cassidy, when would you like to come in?
Well, Mondays are usually pretty open for me.
Yeah, Mondays are our busiest day. We don't see new patients on Mondays.
Oh.
Well.
Okay. Well, Tuesday maybe.
Tuesday's pretty rough too. I mean, it's busy around here. We don't have another new patient. Right? So always offer two choices, either one of which will work for you. So this is appointment book control. Everybody's familiar with this. You stay in control of your appointment, block scheduling, and offer a choice between two things that are available. Always ask. Now this one's the X factor. Okay, you ready for this? This is so Stuart, Cassidy, I'm going to take it back. What percentage did you say would be a winning batting average?
85.
Also scheduled new. What is it? 85, Cassidy?
Yeah, 80.
80.
All right, so we track this, and I'm with you. I said, 80%ish is good. Till a particular month, I was going through statistics from practices we work with at Total Patient Service. And I'm going through looking at this specific number, and they were all, about the same. They were doing their job, 80%, 75%, 82%, 130%. Like, wait, what? How do you get 130% of calls to scheduled appointments? How do you schedule more people than called? So I thought they'd made a mistake. So I called the appointment coordinator, said, okay, let's make sure we're doing the numbers. When they were doing this manually. And I said, let's make sure you're doing the numbers correctly. And she goes, I said, it's calls to scheduled appointments, not the other way around. She goes, no, it's right, Steve, it's right. I said, well, explain it to me. She goes, okay, let me explain it to you. She goes, you teach. Ask everybody. Asking is the key to case acceptance, to get a yes. She goes, I figured you knew what you were talking about. So she said, I came back after I went to your course, your TOPS course, and I just started asking every new patient who scheduled an appointment. I started asking, who else should we go ahead and schedule today while it's convenient and I have you on the phone? Who else should we go ahead and schedule? And she said, it's amazing. About 1 out of every 3 new patients says, oh, I'm so glad you asked. My husband, my wife, my son, my daughter, my dog needs their teeth cleaned. Because that's how you get 130%. That simple question. Who else should we go ahead and schedule today while we're talking and it's convenient for you? You want more new patients now? Start asking your brand new patients who are scheduling today, who else? Because chances are, if they're looking for a dentist, someone else in their immediate circle is looking as well. Start asking that question. All right, let's talk about results. So here's the results. This is a study that was done on dental practices that were doing these 5 simple things. Okay, so the calls, these were recorded calls, Cassidy, like you guys do. And these calls were graded based on these 5 criteria. Did they use a proper greeting? Did they ask for the patient's name and use it? Did they ask for the referral source? How did you hear about our practice? Did they ask relationship questions? And did they ask for the appointment? So the calls were graded on those 5 criteria. Here's the results.
Hello.
So the higher the score in those 5 areas, the higher their success rate of a scheduled new patient. That's basically what this graph tells you. Those 5 simple things, and you will have a higher percentage of those people who will schedule an appointment. Get it? Those simple things. The right philosophy, the right systems, the right tools, use them. Okay, so to wrap up, I'm going to just give you a quick tutorial on how you can increase your batting average even more new patients now, by handling some of the most common questions that we get every day from potential new patients. How much is a cleaning? We've talked about that from the very beginning. If you use a system that has the right questions that leads them to a scheduled appointment, you will get more yeses, right? So Stuart, let's just do this real quick. You asked me how much is a cleaning, and I'll tell you, in contrast to what most people do is give a price, here's where I start out.
Okay. Hey, Steve, how much is a cleaning in your office?
Thanks again for calling. My name is Steve, and yours is?
I'm Stuart.
Stuart, fantastic. Thanks for calling. How long has it been since we've seen you?
You know, Steve, I'm a new patient. I've never been to your practice before.
Oh, well, welcome. We're so glad you chose us. May I ask how you heard about us?
Instagram. I saw your social media.
And what was it that piqued your interest? What did you see on Instagram that got you?
So many beautiful people. So many beautiful people go to your practice.
Yes, they do. So it sounds like you want to be a beautiful people too. Is that right?
I need a cleaning. Yes.
There you go. Okay. So Stuart, we want to make sure that you have a great experience in our office, like all the other people that you saw on Instagram. Can you share with me what's the most important thing to you about your first visit in our office?
I want to have my teeth whitened, Steve. I want to have brighter teeth.
Okay, so and then off we go. We could go on, but now I'm going to talk about whitening and why is whitening important and what kind of, right? So we've shifted the conversation from how much is a cleaning, because most people don't know what else to ask, to having a meaningful conversation about what they really want. So this is a whole body of work in and of itself to be guiding the conversation. You control a conversation by the questions that you ask. If you've got a system that guides the conversation, you will hear yes more often to more new patients. How about this one? Cassidy, you be the patient on this one.
Okay.
Ask me the question.
Do you take my insurance?
Okay, and I would already know your name and the whole deal. I'll say, Cassidy, thanks for the inquiry. Can you share with me who your insurance is with?
Yeah, I'm with Guardian.
Guardian, fantastic. Now let's just say you're not, that the office is not contracted with Guardian. But let's say you do have some patients who have that insurance. So what I would say is I'd say, Cassidy, you're in luck. We have a lot of patients who have benefits with Guardian. So we're very familiar with it. We don't happen to be contracted or in network with Guardian because we're an unrestricted provider. That means we work with all types of insurance. Would you like to know why our patients with Guardian benefits, why they choose our practice?
Yeah, I would love to.
So what they tell us is that when they look at all the other choices that are available to them, they choose our practice because of Dr. Stewart's amazing clinical quality of care, our exceptional patient service, and in addition, we do everything we can to help our patients maximize their insurance savings by filing their benefits for them. So Cassidy, would a Monday or a Wednesday appointment work better for you?
That sounds great. Yeah, let's do Monday.
Now, I'm going to pause there. I didn't just make that up off the top of my head. In other words, we get these questions every day that end up being obstacles to getting a new patient. So if you want more new patients now, yeah, you have to navigate, understand how do you address these common questions that end up being deterrents? How do you make them invitations to become a new patient? I'll just do one more. I just want my teeth cleaned. That implies they don't want the exam, they don't want the x-rays, they just want their cleaning. Why? A lot of different reasons. Might be insurance, might be cost, might be a number of different things. So Stuart, you be my patient on this one.
Let's do it.
So you just want your teeth cleaned. Say, Stuart, I totally understand. Tell me, for you, what's the most important thing about getting your teeth cleaned?
Just to be healthy. I just want a healthy mouth.
A healthy mouth. Tell me about that.
Well, I've been reading some articles, Steve, that say that periodontal disease is one of the largest diseases in America, and I don't want to be swallowing infection from my gums.
Wow. So it sounds like you've schooled up here on how important it is to have a healthy mouth and how that impacts your total health. Am I right?
That's right.
So your total health is very important to you.
Yeah, the most important.
Fantastic. All right. So Stuart, here's what I recommend. Let's go ahead and get you scheduled. I'm going to share with you how we get started with all of our new patients and how we'll get started with you. We'll go ahead and schedule an appointment today. That appointment will consist of the following. You'll have a visit with the doctor who will do and give you an update on your current health and how that's in your current dental health and how that's potentially impacting your whole health. So he'll do a routine exam. We'll take some pictures so that you get an accurate picture of your whole health and what's going on, how it's all working together. And then, provided everything is in alignment, we'll go ahead and do your cleaning while you're here, okay, if that's possible. Right. Okay. So, but my point is, a lot of times we get in this cleaning battle. I don't want the clean. So let's find out why that's important to them. And then let's help them get what they want. Right? This is all based, we started today talking about the philosophy. And the philosophy is create a happy paying patient and help people get what they want. You can't help people get what they want unless you know what they want. They don't want a procedure. We get sidetracked talking about procedures. They don't want a crown, they don't want a filling, they don't want a cleaning, they don't want a root canal. There's nothing in dentistry that you do that anybody wants. What they want is what it'll do for them. Find out what they want to have happen, and help them get it. You want more new patients now? Start helping your patients get what they want. Find out what they want. So we've given you a lot of tips today. I'm going to just suggest this. If you want better results in getting more new patients now, you have to measure results. So here's a couple of reminders. Embrace your purpose. Happy paying patients. That's what we're here to do. Create happy paying patients. Follow a proven system that's proven to get more new patients now, to convert more leads into scheduled appointments. Practice, train, rehearse, especially these common questions we get every day. Practice those, and then measure your results. A couple of suggestions. Make it happen. So with that, Cassie, you have, that concludes our formal education part. You have a special, something special for everybody who attended today as well.
Yes, more gifts for everybody. But basically, Gargle is offering all the attendees of this webinar a free ad spend and website analysis. So if you're interested in seeing where you stand as far as your marketing goes and just want an analysis of what's working and what's not working, we'll do that completely free. We'll run an assessment on your practice on your website, see how you rank in your area, and offer some free tips on how to open the top of the funnel like we were talking about earlier. And we'll also send you free lunch on us. So
wait, free lunch? There is such thing as a free lunch? I always thought there was no such thing as a free lunch. I love this. With Gargle, there is such thing as a free lunch.
Free lunch and free insights on how you're doing. And if you want to learn more about our call tracking dashboard that I showed earlier, we can show that as well. Or if you just have general marketing questions, it's a no strings attached call. So get lunch on us and get some free insights on your marketing.
Thank you for the free lunch, Cassidy.
Yes, of course.
Nice. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us today, Stu. Thanks for being our gracious host. As Stuart mentioned, for CE credit, you'll be receiving an email after this webinar where you can get your CE credit. This webinar is also being recorded, so if you have team members that weren't able to attend, you'll get an email with a link to the recorded version so that your entire team can be plugged into the system for getting more new patients now. So thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and best of luck. We look forward to joining you on the journey of getting more new patients now. Have a great day.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Cassidy.
Thank you. See ya.